Okay, as you can see, I've got everything set up and I've installed the checker spring. And I've also put the first set of lifters in. And these checker springs make things so much easier if you don't have solid lifters or a solid lifter that you can use. This just helps take the tension out of the spring so you don't get any pushback or deflection. So like I said before, these push rods were installed in this engine, and I don't know that I want to trust the length, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in. And another thing I'm using is a set of poly locks just for this test. But the first thing that I did is I'll color the top of the stem, of the valve stem, with a Sharpie, and then we're going to install the rockers. And these are a 1/7 rocker. We're going to install these, and I'm going to put a little bit of preload on them. I'm going to go down to 0 backlash on them, and then I'm just going to put 1/4 of a turn of preload, just enough to give us a little bit of drag. Now, if I was starting from scratch and didn't really have a set of push rods to begin with, and I may end up doing that anyway, I would take my push rod checker that I have, which is adjustable, and I would adjust this until I was in the center. Basically try to get it to where the ball was in the center of the stem, and that's a really good starting point. So anyway, I've got this chucked up, and now I'm going to do just a little bit of preload on these things, and I'm going to roll the engine over 2 or 3 times, and we'll see where this thing shakes out at. Hopefully it's close, but I'm going to replace these push rods anyway, just given the fact that they're just a factory push rod, and everything on this has changed. So yeah, we'll go a couple more times, let it work that thing a little bit. All right, let's see what that's done. Pull these bad boys off. And we'll look at the wear pattern, and you can see the wear pattern. It's really, it's very light on these. Hopefully you can see that. But the wear pattern on this thing is way up towards the front of this valve stem. So more than likely what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the length of these push rods. Let's see if I can get a better view. I don't know if you can see that or not, but typically it'll give you a wear pattern. It'll be nice and shiny, but see, this one is right up here. So it's not quite there. So I will go ahead and I'll check the length with my checker and back these off. These measure out, these factory ones that are in here are 6 inches and 245 thousandths. So I could probably go somewhere with a 6.150, I'm guessing, but that's generally how I check push rods. And so yeah, I'm gonna do a few more things, and then I'll be finishing this engine out. Another thing I want to check too is the spring tension for this cam. I want to make sure the specs for the springs, the install height, and make sure the seat pressures are good for what the cam calls for. So anyway, I'm going to finish this and we'll assemble. Okay, another really cool thing about this build is this, and I don't get any type of kickback, I'm not promoting this, but for engines that are not really super radical and you want something streetable, these Edelbrock ProFlow 4 systems, in my opinion, are pretty much the cat's meow. They are very easy to tune, easy to install, and they come complete with a standalone ECU, which you can mount this thing inside the engine, or inside the cab of the vehicle, whatever you're putting them in. That's a huge plus. Get that out from the heat. They come with a ready-to-run distributor. It's pretty much plug and play. This is locked out. You'll go through a timing procedure and the wiring. They also come with the gaskets that you, for whatever engine you supply them with. But one thing that I'm not seeing is they usually come with a tablet that you can, that's what's used to configure. But anyway, this is a really nice system, and it will be going on this little 302. So that's going to complete this build. Other than wearing a Chevrolet shirt to finish this Ford build. Hopefully I did the Ford fans out there some justice and assembled this thing correctly. I did off camera, I threw these cheap chrome valve covers back on this engine. These are just set on here for transport whenever they come pick it up. I believe he and his sons will they'll make the decision on what they want to run for valve covers, and I think they're going to finish out. I may end up doing a service call on helping them get the EFI dialed in. So other than that, I'm going to give them a call and have them come pick it up, and maybe, hopefully, when they do pick it up, I'll let him, the owner, discuss and talk a little bit about the build and what it means to him. He did say he's a big dude, and he did say with the emotional strings attached to this engine and the truck, with him and his dad and now him and his son, he said he was almost hesitant because he didn't want to shed a tear. But that's great in the grand scheme of things. But we'll give him a call and we'll see what happens. But I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you on the next build.